Summer's officially here, and the bikini sale at shackshop.us is happening right now. Get hot styles, bold prints, and perfect fits, all on sale for a limited time. Whether you're beach-bound or poolside, we've got the bikini that makes you feel confident, cute, and totally summer-ready. So don't wait. Head to shackshop.us and shop the sale before it ends. That's shackshop.us, your new favorite bikini spot.
Schumer and Jeffries clash over shutdown deal as Democrats struggle to define resistance to Trump. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries insist they are in constant communication. Both men are Brooklyn natives, longtime allies, and the two most powerful Democrats on Capitol Hill. But this week, that relationship showed visible strain as Democrats split over how far to go in ending a partial government shutdown and how aggressively to confront President Donald Trump. "I talk to Schumer every day," Jeffries said Tuesday. Yet despite the frequent calls, the two leaders landed on opposite sides of a crucial funding deal negotiated between Schumer and the White House. A deal that split Democrats. Last Thursday, Schumer finalized an agreement with President Trump to pass the final 5 outstanding government funding bills. The package also included a short-term continuing resolution to keep the Department of Homeland Security operating for 2 weeks, while lawmakers negotiate potential reforms to Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. Schumer pitched the agreement to Senate Democrats as a strategic win. The appropriations bills had already been negotiated on a bipartisan basis, and the DHS stopgap, he argued, created space for a high-profile political fight over immigration enforcement, one Democrats believed favored them. But House Democrats, led by Jeffries, were unconvinced. Jeffries not only declined to help fast-track the legislation through the House, he also voted against the deal himself when it came to the floor Tuesday. Asked whether he warned Schumer ahead of time, Jeffries offered a carefully worded response. "He understood where I was leaning," Jeffries said. Schumer, for his part, sidestepped the question entirely when pressed after the vote. "We talk all the time," he said. House resistance hardens. Jeffries' opposition followed a weekend of pointed public statements signaling that House Democrats would not rescue the deal. He argued the agreement lacked firm guarantees on ICE reform and failed to provide what he called an ironclad path forward. House Democrats, including members from politically competitive districts, expressed discomfort with approving any DHS funding, even temporarily, while ICE continues operating under current policies. One House Democrat speaking on anonymously said Jeffries was simply reflecting the will of his caucus. "He's being responsive," the lawmaker said. "There are members who believe even 2 weeks of DHS funding is unacceptable without meaningful changes to ICE." That view contrasted sharply with the Senate's approach, where Democrats were more willing to separate short-term funding from long-term reform. "I'm sure Schumer hears something very different," the lawmaker added. A familiar divide. This isn't the first time the two leaders have diverged during a shutdown fight. In March 2025, just weeks into Trump's second presidency, Schumer voted with a small group of Democrats to keep the government open, advancing legislation Jeffries openly criticized and opposed. What makes this moment different is the political context. Democrats are once again searching for a strategy to demonstrate meaningful resistance to Trump, particularly on immigration enforcement. ICE reform, DHS funding, and border policy are shaping up to be central issues heading into the midterms. To Jeffries' allies, his refusal to back the funding package wasn't obstruction, it was leadership. "This is about backbone," said one New York-based Democratic source familiar with the dynamic between the two men. Voters want to see Democrats fight, not just manage decline. The power imbalance problem. Several House Democrats framed the conflict less as a personal rift and more as a structural problem. Trump negotiated exclusively with Schumer, bypassing House leadership entirely. Jeffries confirmed Tuesday that he has not spoken directly with Trump in months, dating back to the record-breaking shutdown last fall. "We weren't part of making this deal," said Rep. Mike Levin of California. "Why would we bail it out?" Others echoed that sentiment. "The House is supposed to be a co-equal branch in these negotiations," said Rep. Gregory Meeks of New York. "If we're not at the table, why vote for it?" Even Rep. Rosa DeLauro, the top Democrat on the House Appropriations Committee, who voted in favor of the package, acknowledged the White House's misstep. "You can't just talk to the Senate, she has to talk to the House." Leadership futures loom large. Behind the policy dispute lies a deeper undercurrent: succession and power. Jeffries is widely viewed as the next Democratic speaker in waiting. Political observers say this episode gave him an opportunity to show House Democrats how he would assert independence, not just from Republicans, but from Senate leadership as well. "He's very close to being speaker," said Democratic strategist John Reinish. "This was a moment to demonstrate what kind of leader he'll be." Others were more blunt. "Hakeem is preparing for a long career," said one consultant familiar with New York politics. "Schumer knows he won't be there forever." Schumer, now 75, has been in Congress since 1981. Jeffries, 20 years younger, joined the House in 2013. The generational contrast and differing instincts on confrontation versus compromise has become increasingly visible. Trying to project unity. Despite the tension, both leaders have worked to tamp down speculation of a rift. They met privately in Schumer's office Tuesday to discuss the DHS fight, though Jeffries avoided reporters afterward. The following day, they appeared together at a joint press conference where Schumer insisted they were completely and totally on the same page. Jeffries praised Schumer's leadership and leaned into shared history. They both served in the New York State Assembly. They both rose through Brooklyn politics. And Jeffries reminded reporters, "We're both from Brooklyn."
Whether that shared background will be enough to keep Democrats unified through the next shutdown fight and into the midterms remains an open question.